The guilt when you buy something for yourself, the tightness when the balance drops, the urge to spend right after a hard day. You didn't choose any of that. It was installed before you were old enough to refuse. Here's what almost everyone gets wrong about money. They think their problem is what they don't know. Bad math, no budget, not enough coming in. But your relationship with money was installed before you could do multiplication. It isn't a knowledge problem. It's a recording, and someone else pressed record. But here's where it gets strange. Think back to the first time you understood that money could run out. You probably can't name the moment, but your body can. You learned the emotional rules of money years before anyone tried to teach you a single one. Meet someone exactly like you. We'll call him Adam. Picture him at 7 at the kitchen table pretending to color while his parents talk in low voices about a bill. He doesn't understand the numbers. He understands the temperature of the room, the way his mother's shoulders drop, the way his father goes silent. He isn't learning arithmetic. He's learning that money is danger. And that lesson goes in deeper than any lecture ever could. In 2013, Cambridge psychologist David Whitebread led a review of the research for the UK's money advice service, and the conclusion should unsettle every adult. The core habits behind how we handle money, the ability to plan ahead, to delay gratification, to control the urge to spend, are largely formed by around the age of 7. 7, before long division, before you'd ever earned a cent of your own. So the budget you can't stick to as an adult? You were losing that fight in the 2nd grade, but being shaped early is only half of it. Because what your childhood left behind wasn't just a memory. It left a program, and this is the part no one warns you about. You have rules about money you've never said out loud. Maybe you feel guilty spending on yourself, but generous spending on everyone else. Maybe more money in the account just means more anxiety, not more safety. You didn't decide these rules, you run them. Adam runs his without noticing. He got a raise last month. Real money, more than he's ever made, and he feels worse, tighter. He catches himself checking his balance 5-6 times a day, bracing for a disaster that never comes. To everyone around him, it looks irrational. It isn't. He's executing a line of code written by 2 people who lived through a layoff when he was 9. The financial psychologist Brad Klontz has a name for this: money scripts. In a 2011 study of 422 adults, Klontz and his colleagues mapped these unconscious beliefs into 4 patterns: money avoidance, money worship, money status, money vigilance. Each one usually traced straight back to childhood, each one running silently under adult decisions. People don't experience them as beliefs. They experience them as facts. Money corrupts. There will never be enough. I'll finally be safe when I hit the number. Here's the disturbing part. You'd swear these came from your own hard-won experience. They didn't. They came preloaded. And you'd assume you picked them up from what your parents told you about money. That's the assumption I have to break next. Because the research says the exact opposite. Because it turns out the money talk, the one your parents gave you or never gave you, barely mattered at all. Think about what your parents actually said to you about money. We can't afford it. Money doesn't grow on trees. Maybe a lecture about saving you half heard at 16. Now the unsettling question, what did they do while you watched? Because that's what actually shaped Adam, not the one speech his dad gave him about compound interest. The 10,000 small things he saw. The flinch when the restaurant bill landed. The argument the night the credit card statement arrived. The new TV that appeared the same week the mortgage ran late. Nobody sat him down for any of it. He absorbed it by watching, the same way he learned to walk. This is exactly what Albert Bandura demonstrated back in 1961. Children reproduce the behavior they watch with no instruction and no reward. And in 2023, a study of 4,182 American adults put it to the test for money specifically. The researchers, led by Ashley LeBaron Black, separated what parents modeled from what parents discussed. What kids watched their parents do shaped their adult financial behavior. Direct conversation about money had no measurable effect at all. The lecture you got, or the one you resented never getting, left no fingerprint. The version of them you watched when they thought nobody was learning anything, that's the one that stuck to you. The title of the paper says it flat out. Talk is cheap. So the voice in your chest at the store isn't repeating something you were told. It's repeating something you saw. And you'd think at least that watching is something a person could unlearn. Except the inheritance runs one level deeper than that. And this is where it gets genuinely dark. Because you can decide, as an adult, to be nothing like your parents with money, and still catch yourself making the exact choice they'd make, as if something older than memory is voting without you. Adam swore he'd never live the way they did. He budgets, he reads the books, and still every instinct pulls the same direction theirs did. It feels like a haunting. It's closer to a birthright. In 2015, in the Journal of Political Economy, economists Henrik Kronqvist and Stefan Siegel published a study built on the world's largest twin registry. Nearly 15,000 Swedish twins. By comparing identical twins against fraternal ones, they could separate what's learned from what's inherited. Their finding, about 33%, a full third, of the variation in how much people save is genetic, not taught, not watched, carried, tied to the same genes that shape your patience, your self-control, your capacity to wait for a reward. So sit with the full weight of it, shaped by 7, programmed by watching, and a third of it written into your biology before you drew a breath. At this point, it stops feeling like a habit and starts feeling like a sentence, which is exactly where almost everyone gives up. And exactly where they're wrong is because that same twin study found one more thing. The part almost nobody quotes. Your parents' grip on your money behavior is real, but it is strongest when you're young. And as you build a financial life of your own, that inherited pull measurably weakens. The program was never permanent. It was a default. And here's what changes everything. A default only keeps running as long as it stays invisible. The tightness in your chest at the store had power over you because you thought it was you. The moment you can name it, that's not mine, that's my mother at a kitchen table years before I could count, it stops being your identity and becomes what it always was. An old recording you're finally allowed to switch off. Adam still feels the pull. That doesn't go away. But now, when his balance sits untouched and the old dread rises for no reason, he knows the dread isn't information. It's a memory wearing a costume, and a memory can be corrected. You were never doomed to repeat them. You were just never told you were holding the pen. If this changed the way you hear that voice in your own head, the next one to watch is on why you sabotage yourself right as your life starts getting better. Because it's the same mechanism wearing a different mask. It's in the playlist. And before you go, one question. What's one money rule you inherited that you've never once questioned? Leave it below. Naming it is where it starts to lose its grip.